People are trying to exit stage left. Don't exit stage left straight away, man. Yeah, because it's yeah, it's a bit of a techie one. I think whenever you're talking about why women do what they do or why men do what they do, I think what we have to first be very careful about doing, right, is we have to try our hardest not to create a culture of separation. So if we begin to talk about these subjects in a women, you do this, men, you do that, and you need to deal with it on your own, what we don't create is unity. And that's the first
Mm.
mistake. Once we bring that to the table, it's a problem. So I know for a fact in my marriage, although I look 16, I am married, right? But yeah, so I know that half of my problems came from looking at it like that's a you issue and not an us issue. And even as
Mm.
a man, it's really easy for me to do that to my wife, especially if she's acting up. Because there's sometimes where, yes, women, you're acting up. And sometimes men, we're acting up. And so, of course, I feel when you're acting up, you need to pattern up. Yes, of course. Get yourself right before this relationship go left. But the truth is, especially being a Christian for me, right? The truth is the way I guess God gets us to see it, especially with Christian relationships, right? I'm not saying we're talking about that, and people might not have the context for that, but God's trying to get us to look at it in Christian relationship like we're a team. So I can't just send you off on a mission to go and deal with that by yourself because you may not have the whole perspective. For instance, even if you're coming home from a stressful day of work, typically as a man, I'm not looking to offload. I'm just looking to de-stress. So I might come home and it's back down. I'm going to play, run, exercise, rare, rare to just de-stress. But I know it might typically be for a woman that she wants to come and offload. And typically that means talking and then that means listening. So if I get that a bit like what Hassan was saying, where it's like that shaken can come at me, I might make the mistake of going, why is that always coming to me? You need to go and deal with that elsewhere. Actually, some of the ways that we can look at it, especially when it comes to relationships, right, is actually, first of all, that's a privilege. It's a privilege to know that somebody is willing to trust me with their nonsense and with their BS. So all of that stress coming towards me, I might not feel equipped, which might make me bite back at you. But then I also need to see that as a man, and vice versa. Woman needs to see that as a woman. That just because somebody is coming to me as a shaken can does not mean I have to spill the drink everywhere too. What do we do when cans shake up and get all fizzy and crazy? You say, whoa, and you just put it down. You just put it down, back up for a second and say, I'm going to readdress this once the can is, yeah? So there is a responsibility as well for every guy. And I'll say this for guys because I believe, and I know I'm going to get flamed for this, but I believe from a Christian perspective that the man is the head of the household. And therefore, there is a certain sense of headship. And that headship comes not with a lording over the lady in his life, but it comes with understanding that you are responsible for steering the partnership emotionally, physically, maybe not physically. Physically is that needs discussion, but I mean in terms of like you might be the stronger one naturally, right? I know I'm getting flamed. I'm not even looking to my right side of the screen because I'll probably be getting flamed, but I'm gonna say it, right? So emotionally, you have to set the tone. Spiritually, you have to set the tone. So that means, yes, again, going back to what Hassan was saying, yes, you may get shaken can syndrome, you may get baggage, you may get all of that, but sometimes it might take men to first look at it like, I am privileged to be in this position. What an honor it is that a woman can trust me with all of the good, positive emotions and all of the negatives too. Right now, I'm in this position of trust, and she's giving me a certain sense of authority over. I know people are saying all sorts here, right? Yeah, but now she's giving me this almost this sense, this position of authority to be able to speak into her life as a friend, as a partner. Okay, what can I do with that? Okay, let me not just look at it through my own feelings of hurt, because sometimes I will get hurt by your behavior as a woman, but let me not just look at it that way. How can I help you? Okay, babe, let me give you the large picture. All right. Like loaded luck said, I'm gonna give you the large picture. Yeah, babe, when you do this, this kills me like this. Carl, when you say this to me or you bring this energy to me and I'm not ready for it, it can set me off on an emotional trajectory that ruins this relationship for me. So can we look at trying to find a better way to go about having this discussion? Or can we go about, maybe when you get home, can we just take 10 minutes away from each other? Just so you can breathe, I can breathe, and then we'll come back and discuss, is that okay? And that's the other thing, because I've seen it happen for the last hour. Yeah. Everybody is shooting, firing. You don't understand me. You don't know how I feel. You don't get, okay. We just need to slow it. What did Bobby Valentino say? Slow down. I just want to get to. I can't even sing, but you know what I'm saying, blood. Sometimes we just got to slow it down. Yeah, we got to slow it down and just look at it from the perspective of, look, we're all, like you said it earlier, Kojo, you said, right, that when our emotions get heightened, it's very easy to work off our reactions, because that's naturally how we're inclined to do it. But we have to apply wisdom to say, in my emotional state, I cannot reason correctly. Therefore, when I feel that bubble, let me put a cap on it. Yeah. When I feel my fizz, let me put a cap on it. And then we have to be careful to give each other permission to speak honestly about how we feel, and also allow, I think Ayi said it earlier, yeah, we have to allow the other person to feel what they feel and then come back to the table with a discussion. And sometimes that might not be right in that moment, right? You might just need to say, listen, I'm mad as hell with you right now, so I need to take an hour away from you, come back, and then we can talk. If I can't do that in this moment, maybe it's better we just walk away from this discussion right now. Because if we don't, we might say some things to each other that are going to mean that this relationship and connection is going to be harder to keep together, because we're going to be constantly picking, stripping, taking bits away from it, and that's not good. So I think the key thing I'm really saying is, yeah, we have to be so careful not to say, you are a woman, you do this, you are a man, you do that. You need to stop that, and you need to stop that, because the Bible is clear. Yeah. Remove the plank from your own eye before you criticize the speck in somebody else's. Why is it saying that? Not so you go, oh, I'm a piece of rubbish, I need to really look at myself, I'm a piece of, nah. It's not about lowering yourself. It's about humility to see things from a better perspective. Once you pull yourself away from the pedestal you've put your emotions on, you can then go, okay, wow, I didn't even know that you felt like that based off what I said about this. I was just coming from my perspective about. And I see it a lot because I'm also in church community. So I see how man them and women behave. And I know that man them are just as, they're cruel. Yeah. The streets can be cold. Yeah, it's cold. So I know that there's also guys that will be like, women are crazy because they're expressing their emotions. Again, men, we have to take accountability. And I know that the women are angry today. I can see it, I can feel it. I'm even trying to hold my eye and not shine it too brightly. But we have to be careful that we're not labeling things that are actually a reflection of our own inability to handle those emotions in that moment. And then if you can't, but it's somebody you care about, you just have to be honest and say, right, we're on the same team, or I'm trying to hear you. How can I help you? Or how can I help get across what I'm trying to say and help understand you better? That's my 10 pence. I think I'm done.
Woo! KD!
Thank you for that, bro.
Woo!
Thank you for that, bro. Let me even give you a
That was-
little.
We've been blessed.
That's
You gave us a little
amazing.
something. Let me give a little crowd chant.
Love
Yeah,
it.
okay. Man came through in the British Islands like myself and decided to come and spit some rare game for you guys. And I
Well
love what
done,
he
sir.
said. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been saying that for the past hour and a bit, but doesn't really matter to be honest. But jokes. But no, listen, you were talking some spitting truth. And you're absolutely right. It does take two. I'm going to disagree with you though. I am. I'm going to disagree with you. You're absolutely right, but I'm going to disagree with you. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to disagree with you. In a marriage sense, you are absolutely right. In a relationship, you are absolutely right. On those two levels, I would absolutely 100% agree with you. We're in total alignment, like 1,000% agree with you. On this occasion, on